Okay. So the things that I want to be looking at today, case in point, we're looking here at this hillside where we have a lot of drifting float coming down from the hillside. It's coming all the way from up there, at the very top of the hill. This float is coming down here to the land. So these kinds of pieces here. We want to be checking everything in this hillside eventually. And either we pan or we crush. But a lot of these things here, they're can have some gold in that. But today, I think more importantly, we're looking at trying to get down this bedrock. So let's go ahead with that. And what I'd like to do is just take a bit of a walk through the creek itself and kind of assess everything. So, welcome everybody, welcome back. And we're just taking today to assess along the creek. And look at some various possible deposits while everything's still dry. And hope everyone's had a good Christmas and having a happy New Year. So, I'm very interested though in all this float. It seems to have worked its way down here. And a lot of nice color in this quartz. And yeah, it's just a matter of finding a decent spot. And really also want to take out my detector now, so just sort of go over some of this quartz. I need a new battery, but this is not really the thing to use to try and pick up golden quartz, but if there's a substantial amount or mineralization, concentrates of mineralization, it may pick up a few other things too, but today I'm just taking things slow and getting myself back into the rhythm of doing this gold thing. This green. I do hope everyone's having a good day, and the hope is necessarily to find any gold inside this float, but find a decent spot to continue panning. So let's run our detector along here. Here, but just trying to look for a very concentrated iron deposit somewhere along here. Well, I had to way back up the creek there. Take a pan and go that way up there. So. Most all of these places have been, I've excavated already. So the challenge is very soon trying to get a serious detector down here that is going to be able to go quite a bit deeper than the Gold Monster 1000. You have to be very careful about snakes at this point, because they are literally everywhere, and brown snakes, and yeah, just want to be careful today. But yeah, the interesting lot of quartz that I'm really wanting to know about is this ironstone, where we have sort of a conglomeration thing happening. And again, you know, this little detector of mine that I have, it's not going to yield any conclusive results. This is a Garrett pinpointer. So it's not conclusive. What I'm sort of hoping for with this is if there's anything substantial inside that conglomerate, then it'll be worth cracking open and seeing what's in it. And so we're just going to kind of work our way along. If we see anything interesting, then we'll give it a scratch. And then I can't be out here too long today because of the heat. Middle of the day, worst heat of the day. But yeah, welcome back everyone, and kind of a slow start to things. And these little bits right here, and again, case in point, we're getting more of that natural conglomerate. It's like a natural cement. So these are the things to, you know, run your detector over if you get the chance. And let's see where I've put it. I'm not even sure where the hell I put it. Oh, here we go. And again, this thing is inconclusive because it's not going to pick up super fine gold. No doubt there will be probably a bit of gold in there. we're just sort of poking. Oh, okay, I think we're reconnected now. Another thing too is you'll notice these little trumpet plants here. All these over in here. They're always a good indicator of decent iron deposits. So look for your trumpet plants. They can point you to, if they're not pointing you to gold, they'll point you to the heavy minerals, which then can lead to gold. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting afternoon. I'm going to try and stay out here for a bit to give a decent assessment of what the plan is for the gold in this area. But I have a feeling that I might definitely be looking at possibly now, obviously this is going to be a bit of metal. I don't hold any hope for any gold right now. But the other thing is too, you have to remember that even though you're not detecting, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to detect gold. You are going to detect a place where the heavy stuff is dropping out, like iron. And let's get this little fella. Very strange little beetle here. I don't know what he is, but he's got a little job to do, so I'm going to stick him somewhere in out of the sun. There you go, buddy. And welcome back, everyone. So let's give a little scratch there, and obviously it's not going to be gold, but the interesting thing is that we can see where the heavy spots are in a high flow situation, and that's going to help us when recovering. Okay, so it's in my hand, whatever it is, and I can already see what it is. Just a bit of wire. But again, that's some heavy gauge wire, or not heavy gauge, but it's wire nonetheless. So in this little spot, we can almost guarantee that there's going to be a few specks of gold. So that's one thing. I've got some heavy quartz here. I'm kind of running over the detector a little bit, and you know, nothing too serious. I haven't been at this for a few months now. So this today is all about getting reoriented and reconnected with this craft, and I'm gonna switch this off. I need to replace the battery in it. But let's go and go a little bit further up the creek here. Got a nice, beautiful gum tree growing right up through the middle of the creek, and it's withstood many floods, and it's really doing well where it is. So, yeah, if you're just tuning in, I really would appreciate it if y'all just hit the like button for me. Really helps my channel, and I want to try and get over there too, but it's a little bit snaky at the moment, so I'm gonna maybe give it some time. What I'm really interested in getting over there and have a look at these crevices, because they are they're full now because of the floods, and this is a good time to excavate. Although today is not really about excavating, it's looking at the looking at this float and trying to detect a little bit of it too. Because you never know. That could have come off of a gold-bearing reef. And you just might be sitting on a nice specimen. Okay. And obviously that's not going to be what I think it is. This is going to be... no. Something else under there. But case in point too, that's where the heavy stuff can sit. Okay, so we're going to go up here. That's an axe head. I really do wish that this thing could detect a bit of fine gold. I do have some fine gold in this pan, but it's just not strong enough to do that, unfortunately. It would have just been handy if they made a detector that would do that. So the another thing I'd like to do is let's come over here where I have been excavating on this little contact point on this sort of hanging wall, if you will. That's a term used whenever a mine is dug. So you've got your hanging wall where the active digging is happening, and then all along there, this little contact zone. Seems to be something in there. Obviously not gold, but there is gold in here. It's just not anything substantial. But case in point, we have all this bedrock. It's adamant that there's something in there. I don't know what it is. I don't have any water to test and see what it is. But, you know, these rocks are piled up and things. These little contact points are always a good thing to look at, and you know, obviously you need a trommel to get through these things. The clay itself is nearly impossible to break down just with your hands. But you can see, like right in along here at the very top is a little bit of a deposit. Right under here too, where these little, let me turn this damn thing off. Along here as well, just where these little pebbles end, sitting on top of that clay is a nice little deposit of gold. And that's been accumulating for probably hundreds of years now. And everything is washing down somewhere from up the hill. That's where the lode is. And you can see as well, these little indicators like this. You see that little trumpet plant there? It's sitting by the pick. Trumpet plants love highly mineralized soil, and they will grow primarily where there is a decent amount of mineralization. So they're a nice little indicator, you know, with the vegetation, whenever it changes, it's always a good spot to look in and dig. And the other case in point too, other indicators, if we have a look down here, we see that there is a lot of heavy cobbles and things like, you know, broken off bedrock like this. And there's actually quite a bit of gold in this stuff. and it goes all the way down into this little part here. And you know, if I was able to get an excavator in here to pull all this stuff out, no doubt there would be some nuggets. But you know, the trouble is that in and along with that, but you're having to dig up things like bottle caps, nails, and this is why it's such a fine line between using a detector and using just a conventional gold pan to find the gold. But what I'd like to do is where I've just got that signal there, I want to excavate that part out, because it sounds to me like there's something heavy in there. I'm not expecting it to be gold at all. I mean, I'd bet my life that it's not gold. But I want to get it in the pan regardless, and I want to see what it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and set up the little camera just to the side here. And let's see if we can get going. I can't see a damn thing. So let's get that material in the pan. Now, there's a little bit of gold already in here that I need to get out of this pan, so I'm going to go ahead and suck it up in the snuffer bottle. And I'm just going to take one of my little reserve bottles here. I'm just going to dump that just a little bit. You don't need too much, just enough. And on a day like today, you want to keep hydrated. Making damn sure you don't asphyxiate out in this sort of heat. Let's get it all down there. A little bit more water. There we go. And this came from a spot further up, so I'll be able to show that. A few little specks we got a couple weeks ago now. And these are some fairly decent sized flakes as well. So we'll flip the camera around. And so we got one nice little flake there. We got a couple over here too. And it wasn't as we are running very low on water, and there's no water in this actual creek right now. All I want to do is get these few bits in here so they're not going to confuse me whenever I'm actually panning in this area that I've already got everything. You see how difficult it is working with very little water. You really just need a bucket to put all these cons in. And there's another nice little piece here, just right there. Let's get it on our finger. There we go. I can't see a damn thing. But just right there. Nice little flake. And so we want to get that in the snuffer bottle so that we can do a quick check on this little area where we've detected with the detector that there's something heavy. There's some kind of metal. And we're not saying it's a piece of gold or anything. We don't know it just yet, but so right in here we've got a signal. And rather than me waste too much time, I'm gonna try and just pull it out of there with the pick. And let's get the camera turned back around here and let's get the pick at it. And so I can't really see on the camera where this is pointing, but I think my hands are right in the way. There we go, okay. And obviously, when you're working on a wall scenario, you need to, first of all, you need to kind of get down below to where you can have your pan sitting in there, so whatever is in there fall directly out into your pan. And I can be fairly certain this is not going to be gold, but what it will do is it will tell me, once I'm able to pan it out, what exactly it is. It's large enough to detect, so. But it's interesting that it's this little contact zone that it's sitting in. And I don't end up finding too many other metals in here other than maybe the occasional shoe tack from nearly 100 years ago. And sometimes it can be the fencing wire. But I do know that this contact zone in here does have a fair bit of gold in it, but the trouble is it's locked into these clays. Very much locked into those clays and difficult to work with. So I'm going to turn so it's still in the hole, whatever it is. And again, I really hold no hope of this being gold at all. What I would say is it's probably a bit of fencing wire, like I predicted, but you never truly know, so it's always worth getting in and seeing this little things like this. This bedrock here. Nice big chunk of bedrock. It's broken off of somewhere, washed down here and gotten tied up in this corner. So there will no doubt be gold in here, but I really seriously doubt that what I'm detecting is a nugget. It's not. It's going to be a bit of fencing wire. It's going to be either a shoe tack or a bottle cap or something else. But this is, you see this very dark material here? This is decaying bedrock. So this stuff right here, it turns back into this clay that locks up the gold inside of it. So no doubt this pan will probably have several flakes in there. But so far as it having a nugget or anything substantial to write home about it, that possibility is very far-fetched. So it seems to be on this upper wall. Do you see that? Whatever it is, it's on the upper wall. Or sorry, on the ceiling of this contact zone. It's not actually with the stuff that I have in the pan. The stuff that I have in the pan, I can try and detect as well. There could be multiple targets is the other thing. And yeah, so there is something in the pan. So like I was saying, multiple targets. And whatever it is, it's locked up in this. So we got a little piece there. Sometimes what it can be is it can just be a concentration of mineralization that's setting off the detector. It's not always going to be a target. But this would be a very interesting pan to pan. So what I'm going to do is I've got a lot of material in there. So to kind of delegate between what's the most important thing, getting the strongest signal from this little piece here. So I'm going to take that little piece and I'm going to pan it, but I'm going to set this pan of material. Not going to worry about it because I don't have enough water for it. take this little piece here, break it up, stick it in the pan, and see exactly what this really strong signal is. And I've still got half of it up here too. And honestly, like these things, it's so important to just come out once in a while and sample, because the areas that you're working normally, you can sort of get in the habit of getting used to doing it, and you're not really, you know, if you don't venture forth and you don't look at other areas that can have better gold, you're kind of stagnating a little bit. So a little bit of water in there, breaking up those clays. And I want to see, just want to see now, with the rest of this water that I have in that bottle there, you see how difficult the situation is with the water. I want to see what was in that bit where the detector was screaming so hard. Let's try again, because and looks like there isn't a damn thing. So not one speck of gold. So the other thing is too, you got to remember, as I was saying, detectors will go off a lot whenever you have a situation where there is a conglomeration of heavy minerals. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a target there.